Okay, so last time nag-end tayo dun sa finding integrals, and then we use the method of substitution, di ba? We had a few examples on that, but for now, our next topic is uh, definite integral naman. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, this will be our topic for today. Okay, can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
Nakita niyo?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. So, meron bang gumalaw ba? Okay lang? Okay, so
Okay lang po.
let us define the definite integral in this manner. So, last time we had the integral, we call it the indefinite integral. For the definite integral, what we just have to do is we will be actually substituting the upper and the lower limits to the integral. Okay? Basically, what we are doing here is after getting the integral, magsasubstitute tayo ng upper limit, yung kung ano yung nandito sa taas, we call it upper limit, and this one is the lower limit. We substitute this to the integral. Okay? So, ang nangyari, after getting the integral, the integral is capital F. We'll just substitute your upper limit B, and then afterwards we will substitute the lower limit A, and then we just subtract. Is that clear? So, ganun lang ang gagawin natin dito. So, we call it the fundamental theorem of calculus. So, these are the properties of your definite integral. So, first is, of course, since we are just to subtract the upper limit minus the lower limit, if the lower and the upper limit is the same, notice that the integral or the definite integral will be 0. Okay? Now, notice if we interchange naman the lower and the upper limit, notice the integral will just be the negative of the other one. Kasi of course, when we interchange, we will also interchange the minuend and the subtrahend, so it will just be the negative of the other one. Okay? And then finally, so this is just some sort of a triangle inequality. If we have the integral from A to B plus B to C, we can just get the integral from A to C na diretso. Okay? Malinaw ba yung mga properties na yan? Okay, any question with these properties? Okay, so let's have an example on how we can get the definite integral. But you have to remember this, guys. Ito mga properties kasi minsan, you can actually easily get the definite integral using these properties. Kunwari, nakakuha ka na ng integral na ang lower limit saka upper limit ay A at saka B. Tapos may binigay sa inyong integral ulit na pinagpalit lang. So all you have to do is just get the negative value of that. Okay? So makukuha mo na yung integral ng isa. Hindi mo na kailangan kunin yung integral. Same thing with property 3. Kapag may nakita kayong gantong integral na yung parang yung upper limit naging lower limit ng isa, and then we are adding, all you have to do is to get the integral from A to C direct. Okay? And then property 1 is very self-explanatory na kapag parehas, mangyari f of A minus f of A yan, so magiging 0 yung ating integral. Okay, next. So let's have an example. For example, let's have this. So the integral from 0 to 1 of 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 1 dx. So, dahil integral pa rin ito, we will still get the integral. So, paano integrate natin ito? So, 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 1. So, sum lang at saka difference. So, we just integrate this separately. So, the integral of 4x cubed magiging x cubed. Anong mangyari sa x 3 natin? We just add by 1. And then, magiging 4. So, ilalagay lang sa denominator yung 4. Ito naman, 3x squared. So, magiging 3x cubed over 3. And then, minus x. So, kaya ganito. Ay, nawala. Nasa na yung ating sagot? Sorry. Where is the answer? I think it's on the next slide. Ay, wait. Wait. I think, wait. Where is it? I think it's not here. Where is that? Wait lang guys ha. Ay, ito na lang pala. Nawala siya. Okay, ito na lang. Instead of that one, let's have this. Okay. So, okay, so what happened here, guys? The integral of x squared minus 3x plus 2 from negative 1 to 1. So what we did here is, we integrate x squared. So anong nangyari? So, ang integral ng x squared magiging x cubed over 3. Okay, and then the integral of negative 3x magiging negative 3x, di ba 1 yun? So 1 plus 1, this becomes 2 over 2. And then plus 2, so the integral of that is 2x. So notice dito, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay yung plus c kasi matatanggal lang din siya kasi yung una may plus c minus c, so kaya mawawala lang. So you don't need to put the plus c here. Ang gagawin na lang natin dito after getting the integral, sa definite integral, isa-substitute muna natin yung upper dito sa lahat ng x na yan, tapos i-subtract natin naman, substitute naman natin yung lower sa lahat ng x. So magiging ganito siya. Okay? So when x is 1, so substitute lang natin 1 cube over 3 minus 3 times 1 squared over 2 plus 2 times 1. So lahat ng x na to, pinatang ko lang ng 1. And then minus, when x naman is the lower limit, which is negative 1. Okay, so ganun lang din. Pinatan ko lang lahat to ng mga negative 1. So ito. Malinaw ba to, guys? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
Wala na po.
Malinaw ba to? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir.
Okay, so pagkatapos ito, i-simplify na lang natin ito. So simpleng arithmetic na lang to. So 1 over 3. Ito 3 times 1. So maging 3 halves plus 2. Okay, and then this becomes negative 1 cubed. So negative lang yan. Negative 1 over 3. Minus ito, negative 1 squared. So this becomes positive 1 times 3. Kaya negative 3 lang ito. Okay, and may minus dun kaya negative. And then 2 times negative 1 kaya negative 1. So, i-add na lang natin at saka simplify natin yung fraction na yan. So, it will result to 14 over 3. Okay, any question? Malinaw ba?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so one more example. Wait lang. Let's have one more example. But first, let me check where. Okay, not here. Okay, ito naman. Let's have this one. Ito naman, it will consider a different, pero halos magkamukha lang siyang example. Ito naman. Di ba kanina, we had an example wherein we just use the power formula. So what happens here na power naman, may power formula tayo, pero notice again, when the exponent of x is -1, anong gagamitin natin dito? Can we still use the power formula? John Paul, what do you think? Yung x to the -1, ano yung integral ng x to the -1 ulit?
Ah,
Ano? Anyone? Ano yung integral ng x to -1? Di ba? It's the ln of x or the absolute value of x. So, magiging integral nitong unang x to the -1 is just ln of the absolute value of x. Ito magiging 3x to the, di ba 1 ito, so magiging 1 plus 1, so this becomes 2 over 2. So, ang integral nito will be this, di ba? ln of absolute value of x minus 3x squared over 2. Now, again, yung plus c, tatanggalin ulit natin, and then we just evaluate from the lower to the upper limit or upper minus lower. Substitute na lang natin itong yung upper. Okay, so when x is 2, substitute na lang natin, and then when x is 1, so we have this. Okay, and then we just simplify. Okay, or you can just simply use the calculator here when you simplify this. So it will just be ln 2 minus 9 over 2. Okay. Notice ln 1 is just 0, kaya magsi-0 to. Ito naman, negative. Ito magiging 3 times 2 squared. So this will be 12 divided by 2. So this is 6. So negative 6. Minus, so this is negative. So plus 3 halves. So 6 minus 3 halves will just be negative. Negative 6 plus 3 halves, so that will be negative 9 over 2. Okay, and then ln
sir
1
pa
is
ulit
0.
po.
ln 2 is just ln 2. Okay, malinaw?
Sir pa ulit po.
Alin? So, ang ginawa lang
Yung
natin dito, we just integrate. Ulit natin. So, the integral of x to the -1 is ln of absolute value of x. And then negative 3x is negative 3x squared over 2. And then we just substitute the upper. So, when x is 2, sa palitan lang natin lahat ng x ng 2. So, naging ganito. Yung una, minus when x is 1 naman. So, palitan naman natin yung x natin ng 1. So, kaya meron tayong minus ln of absolute value of 1 minus 3 times 1 squared over 2. Now, when we simplify this, ln 1 is 0. This will just be negative 3 times 1 over 2, so negative 3 halves. So negative 3 halves times negative, so this becomes positive 3 halves. And then ito naman, ito ay 3 times 4 times over 2, so this will be 6. So negative 6 minus 3 halves. So when you subtract that, it will be negative 9 over 2. ln 2 is just itself, ln of absolute, ln of 2. Okay,
sir,
mali. Yes.
pwede po mauna pong i-substitute yung 1 bago po yung sa to. Kahit magbaliktad, sir.
Hindi. Kapag inuna mo yung 1, ang sagot dapat dyan ay negative nung sagot mo. Okay, dapat laging upper muna minus lower. Okay?
Kaya po pala yung number to yung inunang.
Yung nasa taas na number muna ang isa-substitute bago yung nasa baba. Okay?
Okay po, sir.
Okay, so if you would notice, sa lahat ng example natin, laging nauuna yung nasa taas. Okay, sabi daw sa akin ay ang aking internet connection is unstable. Anyway, so malinaw na ba to? May tanong pa po ba? Okay, kung wala na, ano pa nga bang kailangan natin gawin? Gusto niyo pa ba ng example? More example?
Yes, sir.
Sige po, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
isa
sir.
pa.
Isa pa po.
Meron pa ako dito. So, paano naman kapag ginamitan natin ng substitution method naman? Okay, pan tayo ng isang example na may substitution method. Okay. Ito medyo hardcore ng konti yung substitution method na to, pero kayang-kaya nyo to. Okay, so what if we have this kind of integral? So the integral of x all over square root of 3x squared plus 1 dx evaluated from 0 to 1. So how do we get the integral? So dito, notice, hindi natin to basta-basta pwedeng kuhanan ng integral, di ba? So what we are to do here is we will do substitution method. So how do we do substitution method ulit? So notice, if I let u to be 3x squared plus 1, what happens? So I can get the derivative of both sides. So du will be 6x dx, right? Tama ba to? Now, kung titingnan nyo sa ating integral, meron kang 3x squared sa denominator plus 1 at meron kang x dx. So kailangan mo makuha yung x dx. So meron ka ng x dx dito, so I can just divide both sides by 6. So mangyayari, du over 6 is x dx, right? So, ngayon, dahil papalitan natin ito, tandaan itong ating integral, guys, itong 0 at saka 1, isa-substitute natin yan sa x. Ikaso, pinapalitan na rin natin ng u, so papalitan din natin yung ating lower and upper limit na magiging, na pampalit naman siya sa u. So, when x is 1, notice, what will be the value of u? So, substitute na lang din natin dito. So, when x is 1, so 3 times 1 squared plus 1, magiging 4 lang siya. Diba? 1 squared is 1 times 3, this will be 3 plus 1, kaya 4. Now, what if when x is 0? So, when x is 0, mas madali-dali siya, magsi-0 lang to, so it will just be 1. So, notice, when I replace my integrand here, notice it will be like this. Paano naging ganito to? Notice, when x is 0, u is 1, kaya pinatang ko siya ng 1. So, when x is 1, u naman dito becomes 4. Okay? Now, bakit naging ganito na lang natira sa integral natin? Yung x dx natin dito, di ba ang x dx is du over 4, ay du over 6. So, meron kang du over 6 dito. And then itong 3x squared plus 1, ni-replace ko na lang siya ng u, kaya naging ganito na lang siya. Malinaw? Malinaw yung transformation natin? Malinaw po ba? Hello?
Sir, pwede pong paulit from the top kasi na-late po ako. Sorry po.
Okay, ulitin natin. So what we did here, guys, hindi pa tayo tapos ha, substitute pa lang tayo. So notice, I let 3x squared plus 1 equals u, and then I take the derivative, kaya naging gato. So derivative of u is du, derivative of 3x squared, di ba? 2 times 3, kaya 6x, and then derivative of the base, which is dx, plus derivative of constant, 0, so hindi mo na kailangan lagyan ng plus 0 dito. Now, ito, bakit ko kinuha yung x dx? Kasi itong x dx kung to, kailangan kong isolve. X dx du over 6 because I just divide both sides by 6. Dinivide ko lang ng 6 yung both sides na equation. So, naging ganito. Now, yung x dx, pinatang ko lang ng du over 6. Kaya may du over 6 tayo dito. Okay, malinaw ba yun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so parang itong x dx na to, itong x dx, ito na yung du over 6. Yung du over 6 na yan, right? Tapos, itong ito naman, yung 3x squared plus 1, yun na yung u. Diba? Malinaw ba?
Opo, sir.
Now, Yung ito naman, yung 0, naging 1 yan kasi dito sa ating transformation dito sa baba. Di ba? When x is 0, sinod natin yung u, naging equal sa 1 yung u. At saka when x naman ay 1, naging 4 naman yung nasa taas naman ng integrand natin kasi sinod naman natin yung u. Okay? Now, from here, dahil yung 6 na to constant, so pwede na lang natin siyang ilabas. So, maging ganito siya. Okay? And then, yung square root of u, notice, di ba u to the 1/2 lang ito. Tapos nilagay natin sa taas, kaya naging u to the negative 1/2. Okay? Is that clear? So, pwede na naman natin itong integrate ulit. So, u to the negative 1/2, u to the n lang yan, di ba? So, plus 1, magiging 1/2. And then, lagay natin sa baba yung 1/2. Okay? Malinaw? Simplify muna natin ito. 1/6 divided by 1/2, so magiging 1/3 lang yan. Okay? And then, saka natin substitute yung 4. So, when u is 4, and then when u is 1. Okay? And then, 4 raised to 1/2, parang square root of 4 lang yan. What's square root of 4? That will be 2. And the square root of 1 is 1, so 2 minus 1 will be 1. Kaya magiging 1/3 pa rin. Okay, any question? Malinaw po ba? O may tanong? Mukhang wala nang tanong. O baka tulog na yung mga kausap ko dito. Gising pa ba kayo dyan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so kung wala nang tanong, paki-on nga saglit yung camera nyo for a few seconds before I forget.